ant, you little damn ant, buddy.
You're such a nice guy, Jay Leno.
I'm bored! I'm so bored!
Why don't we go to my website?
Gentlemen, the cola is very, very good today.
It's 2026, everybody, and hi, welcome back to Televised the TV Movie Story, the podcast that we do.
It's about TV movies and stuff.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening, which it might be, you never know. We're still getting off the ground, and this is me committing myself to, I will lock in that updated intro music track for us by the time this goes up. So you will have heard our new intro.
So in 36 hours.
Well, yes. It's Sunday night as we're recording this. The Critics' Choice Awards just happened. I didn't watch them. I imagine you didn't, because you were also watching this movie, More Than Friends, 1978.
Do you know who won? Like, did they announce Best Picture?
Oh, yeah, it ended like just a bit ago. One Battle, One Picture.
Oh, of course.
There were some interest. Jacob Elordi won Supporting Actor.
Good for him.
Yeah. The acting winners were Chalamet, Buckley, Elordi, Madigan. Pretty cool.
What a crazy win lineup. That's
yeah. You got a witch and you got a Frankenstein monster.
That
I feel
you know what? I want that version of this movie where it's a witch and Frankenstein.
Or it's specifically Amy Madigan and Jacob Elordi.
No, that'd be Harold and Maude.
Well, yeah. Eliza.
Now that I put it into the world,
now you put it into the world, because there's a Harold and Maude stage version. There's a play of that. Jacob Elordi and Amy Madigan as Harold and Maude, not bad casting at all.
Oh my god!
Honestly, genuinely, that's not bad casting. If somehow that happens, I would dish out what it would take to go to Broadway, to go to New York to see that.
And I also I would stage door. It's like, did you listen to this podcast? Is that why this is happening?
No, but speaking of a witch and a Frankenstein monster, I feel like not enough airtime has been given this Oscar season to the possibility of a year where we have, among our acting nominees, 3 witches, a vampire, and a Frankenstein monster.
Who were the other 2 witches?
Wicked, Elphaba and Belinda.
And vampires, of course, the spoiler for that one movie.
No, Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
one of them gets turned into a vampire.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's kind of a whole thing.
Wait, wouldn't there be 2 vampires?
Well, no, because Stack doesn't get turned into a vampire.
But I'm saying Wunmi Mosaku could. Did she get turned?
Oh, no, she just dies.
Okay.
No, he she has. I forget which one is Smoke and which one is Stack, but she has, I think, Smoke stab her before she turns. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I watched it once in theaters back when it first came out.
Me too.
It's been a while.
I have not done the rewatch on that.
I need to rewatch it. I just re-listened to the soundtrack for my personal awards, and it's just like, God, that music is just so fucking good.
Spoiler alert, Sinners, good movie.
Yeah. Anyway, not what we're here to talk about at all.
Not even remotely what we're here to talk about. We're talking about, I almost said 2 of Us, which would not be a bad title for this.
Yeah.
More Than Friends from 1978, because we are doing an In Memoriam month this month. We're looking at some TV movies from some of the stars that we lost in 2025. This one we are doing for Rob Reiner. We've got Diane Keaton, Val Kilmer, Sally Kirkland, Diane Ladd coming up in the coming weeks. But we're talking about Rob Reiner this week for a movie that he stars in. He didn't direct it, but he stars in it. He co-wrote it.
He co-wrote it too.
Yes, yeah, him and I wrote down his name, but I don't
Bill
have my notes. But
Michigan.
yes, Phil Mission. Mission? It's
I
probably
it,
Michigan, and I wrote it
Michigan
down
says
wrong.
is what Letterboxd says.
Yep, I typed it wrong in my notes. But yeah, this was one because I pitched to you the idea of doing an in memoriam thing in the first place. We had a different plan originally. But when Rob Reiner passed, first I checked to see if there were any that he directed because I didn't think to look for any that he would have starred in. And there was the one like not really a TV movie. It was like a TV broadcast of a live stage production reading of a play that
Mhm.
Reiner directed. And I brought that to you, and you were like, well, I like the idea, but how about we do this movie instead? And you know what? I'm glad you did, because this movie was delightful.
It was so good. I'm so glad this is what we started the year with.
I really am. I think this is it. We're off to a good start here. I think it was just I really loved this movie.
Like
I was really taken start to finish by the whole thing.
like when like going into this knowing it's a Rob Reiner movie and knowing what Rob Reiner has done later on, it's like, oh, this is kind of like When Harry Met Sally, but it's like the opposite. But then it's like it's just its own thing. It's just a great little romance story, and it 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 uses the TV format so well, and it like because it's more just vignettes rather than like a plot or anything. It's just like different scenes from their lives, and it's just like I love just getting the glimpses of them. Like, and these are very like it feels almost like a play where it's just like it's often just single takes of these long scenes, but it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, this is, I mean, a lot of the shows or a lot of the movies that we've done on this show are ones that I feel like sort of implicitly you can get the vibe whether or not we would recommend it. But this one, I think, fully go out, pause this episode. The movie's on YouTube. It's 90 minutes, if that. Uh, go watch it, go have a good time with it, and then come back and listen to us sort of sing its praises because this is I was surprised to see not even in the bottom five in terms of popularity of the letter on Letterboxd of the movies we've done.
I
Even though
mean,
it
we've
all,
done some real randos.
yes, but this has like 66 logs on
Oh,
Letterboxd
and you
total.
say not even the bottom five, but it's number six.
Yes,
Right above
well,
Welcome Home,
well,
Johnny Bristol.
well, yes, that is what not in the bottom five means. But like, I was surprised because this is so underseen because I think it was unavailable for a long time in its
Yeah.
full. There, like one of the few reviews of it was from. Actually, when was that from? Uh, uh
2021.
yes, that's like there's only 66 minutes of it, and some of it's a cam rip off of someone's computer screen.
Oh, wait. The YouTube upload that I assume you also watched was in December of 2021, and that review is from January 21.
Oh, yeah. Uh, it it looks like there was a DVD available that was just very pricey, so someone must have gotten that and uploaded it. Uh, Penny Marshall didn't die in 2021. She died before then. That wouldn't have been like a, you know, resurgence
2018.
of it. Yeah. Okay. I wonder why there would have been such a uh, resurgence of eyes on this movie around then. Who knows?
Not
Anyway,
really resurgence,
not
just
resurgence, but a handful of people watching it and seeking it out in 2021. I wonder if there was some reason for that.
Mhm.
Um, and hopefully this sort of kicks off. Not like we have a huge audience of people that are going to come out in droves and make this like the most popular movie on Letterboxd this week. But
I think we could convince five people to watch this movie, and that alone would be enough for me.
yeah, that'll kick it up into the 70s. Or, well, with ours already, the two more from us, that takes it to 68 from what it was at. And then
True. Let's hit 75 by next week. Come on, guys. If you're
75 watches on More Than Friends, 1978, by January, let's say by the end of the month.
Okay,
If we
that's
can
giving
get
them
it,
too much time. We
okay.
need to put
Well,
pressure on our audience, Gordon.
okay,
If you don't get this movie to 75 watches by January 13th, Gor
Eliza will kick a puppy.
I was gonna say Gordon's going to die, but sure.
Oh, oh. Well, though I thought my stakes were drastic. Oh no.
I mean, I think kicking a puppy is worse than Gordon dying, but who's to say?
What do I just what if I just left?
I could get another co-host.
I
You
yeah.
can't replace the joy of a puppy, Gordon, but you can replace a
I
Gordon.
they I don't I don't know if that quite tracks, but I mean
I feel
I
like
am simply one man.
look, I
and
feel
and
like
I
Cass would
have
be happy to take your place.
I don't know. I feel like that's probably there would be some mourning. There would be a mourning period at the
Well,
very
that's what
least.
this
I
whole
would
month is for, Gordon. It's in memoriam. We
More Than Friends from 1978, directed by James Burrows, who we'll talk about. Big sitcom guy, very big. Didn't do a ton of movie directing, but he's still
or
he got
even
an
TV movie directing.
yeah. But he was Emmy nominated last year. He's still working.
Oh shit.
For a mid-century modern for directing or something. I don't know. He got some Emmy nomination for that. He has 11 Emmys and a good handful of nominations for.
Jesus Christ.
He's also a producer, and he produced Cheers. So a lot of those 11 Emmys are best comedy series for Cheers, or Will and Grace, or Frasier, or Taxi. Those
His first win was for directing Taxi.
there you go. His known for credits on IMDb: 236 episodes of Cheers, 246 episodes of Will and Grace as director, not as producer, 75 of Taxi, and 32 of Frasier. So the man directs a lot of TV. He directed 4 episodes of the Frasier reboot. He directed some episodes of the Will and Grace reboot, as well as the original kind of episodes of mid-century modern, and a movie from 1982 called Partners, which the letterboxed log line for that is: after a series of murders in Los Angeles's gay community, heterosexual police officer Sergeant Benson is assigned to go undercover as half of a gay couple with Officer Kerwin, a records clerk, starring Ryan O'Neal and John Hurt.
Which half?
What do you mean?
It just says go undercover as half a gay couple. I'm just like, which half?
The half that's him, and the other half is John Hurt.
Okay. I'm just like the bottom half, the top half. Like,
I don't know.
I didn't even mean it like that way.
Well,
I just meant is he going to be the legs?
like a horse costume, like a Halloween
Exactly.
horse costume. The poster for this movie is wild, by the way. You have
cute.
Ryan O'Neal as a cop holding a gun to his temple and giving the side eye to John Hurt in a lavender t-shirt with the sleeves rolled up, holding a hair dryer to his head, blowing his cop hat off.
Oh, that was supposed to be his cop. I just thought
No.
there was just a second police hat floating ominously.
Why? Why would that possibly be that?
I don't know. I was confused.
Why would that have possibly been that?
I just saw the floating hat. It's like, why is that there?
If only there was some context clues. Anyway,
there's no context.
He's holding a blow dryer that is blowing his hair.
I
in the
know.
I know.
I'm just being silly.
Anyway, the movie was written by Phil Mishkin and Rob Reiner. It stars Penny Marshall, Rob Reiner, Philip R. Allen, Dabney Coleman, Fawn Harriman, Howard Hesseman, Michael McKean, Claudette Nevins, Joe Pantoliano, and special guest star Kay Medford. Also, Pamela Hayden was in there at some point. I didn't catch her in there, but Pamela Hayden
she was
The
Sky.
Simpsons. Oh, well, there you go. Was Wind somebody? Cindy Fisher.
Cindy
Is that?
Fisher.
Are you anybody?
She was in Blues Brothers as daughter number 2.
Well, there you go. I remember no daughters in the Blues Brothers, so I don't know what that means. But
Neither do
there you
I.
go. Oh, she's also in The Stone Boy, that movie I did on World According to Glenn. Uh,
Oh, oh, that's the bad one.
one of the bad ones. Both of the ones I did on that show were bad, but it's okay. Um, no, there was something else I want. No, we'll get into the cast later. I don't want to harp on them too much
Mhm.
yet before we get into
Yet.
everything else. The movie was broadcast October 20th, 1978 on ABC. On CBS, you had an episode of Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk. On NBC, you had an episode of Who's Watching the Kids, which was a Gary Marshall show. So that's fun. You had a Gary Marshall and a Penny Marshall at the same time.
Nice.
And then an episode of The Rockford Files. And I have a not really a game per se off that, but all of those episodes had fun episode titles. And so I'm going to give you the 4 episode titles and so that you have some leeway, some wiggle room. The 2 episode titles of the shows that aired after on CBS and NBC, and you have to pair them up to what show they're from. So the shows that you have are Wonder Woman, Incredible Hulk, Who's Watching the Kids, and The Rockford Files.
Okay.
And your episode titles are and the sea shall give up her dead, A Child in Need, Disco Devil, The Great Escape, Hit and Run, and White on White and Nearly Perfect.
Okay, can you give me the names of the shows again?
The shows are Wonder Woman, The Incredible Hulk, Who's Watching the Kids, and The Rockford Files.
Yeah, I'm just writing them down so I can like keep them in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Now name the titles again.
And the sea shall give up her dead, A Child in Need, Disco Devil, The Great Escape, Hit and Run, and White on White and Nearly Perfect.
Okay,
So
and
you're only going to need to use 4 of those. 2 of those are for, 2 of them are red herrings.
so the first one about the sea, I think that's Rockford Files. I've
I'll say nothing until you've
yeah.
answered everything.
Disco Devil, I'm debating whether that's just like either that's definitely one of the ones that made you like, okay, I have to do something with this. But I'm trying to decide it has to be one of the 4. Disco Devil, I think, is gonna be Wonder Woman. What are the ones I haven't used?
A Child in Need, The Great Escape, Hit and Run, and White on White and Nearly Perfect.
Hit and Run is who's watching the kids. I don't know what that show's about, but I'm assuming a dad has hit his own kid.
Oh, whoa.
Um, and I think all I have left is Incredible Hulk. I'll just do Great Escape for that.
You got 2 right.
Hey.
You got Disco Devil being Wonder Woman and Hit and Run being Who's Watching the Kids. The Hulk episode was A Child in Need.
Okay.
And the Rockford Files episode was White on White and Nearly Perfect. And the Sea Shall Give Up Her Dead was Eddie Capra Mysteries. And The
Okay.
Great Escape was a show called Flying High.
I know Flying High. I was thinking about Flying High when we had a show in this called Three Girls in the Sky. I assumed that was
I
a Flying
want
High parody.
that would make sense. The show Who's Watching the Kids is a sitcom about 2 young Las Vegas showgirls who live together and each have a younger sibling living with them. That includes in the cast, among others, Scott Baio and Jim Belushi. Scott
Fun.
Baio. Why did I say Baio? Scott Baio and Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi playing a character named Burt Gunkel.
That's good.
Jim Belushi as Burt Gunkel. There's
You
an
know,
episode 5 of the show. The title is Love Finds Burt Gunkel. Actually, let me just read all of the episode titles of Who's Watching the Kids. So your pilot episode is Legs. You have The Odd Family, Melissa Runs Away, Frankie Loves Memphis, The Hostage, Love Finds Burt Gunkel, Rustic Retreat, Hit and Run, Good News, Bad News, Frankie's 16th birthday, Larry moves in, Jealousy the Green-Eyed Monster, and Pose Poses Poser. The last three of which were unaired.
I'm assuming that The Hostage and Love Finds Burt Gunkel are like a two-part episode about like Stockholm Syndrome.
I would hope so. Those two episodes, the writer and director per Wikipedia are unknown.
Oh, fun. You know what else is a fun name like Burt Gunkel? Alan Corcus.
I do, yes, I do love both of their Alan Corcus and Maddie Perlman. I love these two.
Yeah. For those unaware, we are getting into the actual movie now.
Yes, now we're talking about More Than Friends, 1978.
With which we had a lot of preamble and fucking around here.
It's the new year, new show. This is how
It's not a
we
new
do
show.
the show. Yes, it is. New intro music, new show. It's a new show.
It's the same vibe as before.
It's the second season of the show.
It is in fact the second season. That is how I'm going to differentiate it on the Spotify uploads. But yeah. Where the fuck to even begin with this one? Like, this is one of those episodes where most of my notes are quotes.
Oh, almost all of my notes are quotes. The quotes, the notes.
No, nothing.
Copyright it. The notes are the quotes.
No.
Put it on a t-shirt, put it on a mug. The notes are the quotes. No, I mean, like you said early on, this is a very sort of loose and flowy kind of movie. It's not really a movie where things happen so much as these two characters sort of drift in and out of each other's lives. And it's a romantic comedy dramedy. And, you know, the best parts about it are the jokes and the romance. And that's not really stuff that you can get into on a more molecular level. So it's a very funny movie. I'll say that. I was sort of
so funny.
You know, you have a very small sample size of Letterboxd reviews to go off, and so I wasn't really sure what to expect going into this, whether this would be, you know, whether it would have held up to any degree. And it's a very funny movie. There's a lot of, I mean, Rob Reiner is a very funny guy, very good writer.
Penny Marshall is hilarious.
Yes, great actor. And they're both real. Like I saw multiple different, you know, Letterboxd reviews and YouTube comments and stuff saying like, you know, oh, they're both great directors, great producers, maybe not the strongest actors. And, you know, neither of these are all-time great performances of the 70s or anything. But
I would
they're
disagree,
playing
but I'll get there.
they're playing very stylized characters. I think they're both really good in this, playing the very awkward, antisocial, but like on each other's wavelength. There's a chemistry, there's a pattern that the two of them have that if they had more chemistry, I don't think the movie would have worked nearly as well. It has to be that they're kind of awkward around each other and not really sure how to navigate their friendship or whatever it is. And that's what makes it work so well.
Like, this is such a fantastic autistic for autistic romance.
Oh, extremely so. It's you know, they knew what they were doing without really knowing what they were doing.
Exactly.
Even from like the opening to this movie, the very beginning of the movie is when I knew, oh, I'm gonna love this. Which is they're walking to their high school prom, their senior prom, 1958, walking down the street. He's got his white tux and she's got her dress, and he goes, I don't know, she goes, want to sing in the still of the night? And he goes, sure, you do the shodo shubido. And they start singing in the still of the night. He's doing the lyrics and she's doing the shodo shubido shubido shodo. And they're just singing the song together because they're best friends that don't really realize that they're in love with each other. And it's just from that point, I'm like, oh, this is something special. I am really going to love this. And it didn't really lose me at any point over the rest of the movie. There's some points where it kind of not falters, but it sort of slows down. And it doesn't really deliver on the jokes or the patter between them when they're sort of split apart every now and then.
Yeah, Honestly, it's kind of perfect because it's like every time that they're apart and don't like each other is when the movie becomes like it starts slowing down because it's like I don't like when that happens. I want them to be together.
Yeah. It's whether that was intentional or not, it adds to the vibe.
But yeah, it's like it's almost funny like how often it's like they're together, they're apart, they're together, they're apart, they're together, they're apart. Or it's just like a constant back and forth up until the very end.
Yeah. And that's the point of the whole thing is that it's this not so much a will they won't they because they are in some kind of ways romantically physically entwined from early on and sort of on and off, but
They
like
lose their virginities to each other. Let's
yes,
just
and
like
and they
cat
they
out of the
make
bag.
out they make out at the prom kind of a little bit. Like it's not that the romance is something that develops much later on. It's there from the start. It's just not really set in stone.
Mhm.
And it's clear he likes her, and it's clear she likes him, but doesn't really know what like to what degree or what really is going on. Um, but yeah, I think the development of their relationship over the course of it feels real. It doesn't feel like it's overly written for the sake of the movie. It really does feel like two people eventually coming to terms with that they're kind of soulmates.
Honestly, like the first segment of the movie is like what really sets this whole movie in stone. And it's like not just like them like walking up, but then it's like at the dance, it's like the way they so effortlessly like switch between songs while everybody else is like taken out of it. It's because the music just keeps switching, and then like oh, and then it's like there's the first conversation about them making out, which I I had written it down, but I didn't keep it. Where it's just like she
he
says,
he asks her if she wants to make out, and she's like, well, you don't just ask someone if you want to make out, you just make out with them. And then he goes to make out with her, and she's like, oh well, I don't want to make out with you because now I'm thinking about it. And then it's just a whole sort of it's very quippy. It's a very
"It's so
fast
quippy."
paced script over the course of the whole thing, um but not in a way that it feels sort of snarky or pretentious or like screenwritery pejorative. It's just it's very quippy, but in a way that it feels like real people in real life behaving like real people. And that's there from the very beginning. I also really like when he does go to make the move and make out with her, and he just takes a bite of the cracker that she was about to take a bite of.
Yeah.
Um, he swoops in and just sticks his face in the cream cheese or whatever.
Mhm.
Um,
And then they
uh,
go to a separate room and they have this whole long conversation about like why like they want to do it, but then they don't. And it's just like why it's like he wants to and then she doesn't. And it's just like and it's like this whole conversation
and then
about
she doesn't, and she
yeah.
does, and he doesn't, and she they start kissing, and then she pulls back and is like, "You were kissing funny."
It's like don't you know French?
Oh, yeah, I'm French. Well, you weren't doing it. Well, I was gonna do it.
It's so good. Like the
That,
two main lines I wrote down from that scene, it's just like he asks her like she says like, "Oh, you're just not my type." It's like, "Well, who's your type?" It's like, "Oh, you don't know him." It's just like, "Tell me." And it's like, "Well, for one, Yul Brynner." And it's just like goes in this whole thing and he starts singing "Shall We Dance?" It's just
yeah,
like
he
and
goes on a
then
whole thing about how baldness runs in the family because his paternal grandfather went bald by 8.
yes.
You like a baldy? Why didn't you say so? I'm gonna be bald.
Oh, and the way that part like runs through this whole movie is
It's
so nice.
the payoff of that at the very end is genuinely really sweet, and
God.
I love them.
We'll
Um,
get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
uh, uh,
And then another line from the scene I wrote down was so everything, so nothing, so buttons.
yeah. I like after he does the song from King and I. He goes, "I'm sorry I asked you to dance on a bright cloud of music."
It's so good.
Just sort of like, tail between his legs about like, I killed the vibe there. Um, something in this scene that oh, actually, a couple things. Looking at my notes, there were a few things I wanted to take note of. I like how so they've gone into this bedroom with the express intention of making out. This has been settled. They've talked about this. They're going in here to make out. They kick out Joey Pants and his girlfriend, so that they can have the room to themselves. And they sit down at the edge of the bed. And then Reiner still does the fake yawn so he can put his arm around her shoulders. Like he's still finding an excuse because they're awkward teenagers. They're supposed to be, at least. They were like, in their 30s making this, and they don't look especially 18. They look 31 and 35. But it's fun. It's a comedy.
You can suspend the disbelief.
Yes.
It's fine.
They play the awkwardness of the teenagerness well enough that just because they don't look it, it doesn't take you out of it.
And like the fact it's mainly just them for most of this is just like it helps you suspend it. It's not like they have like actual teenagers next to them that
it's Joe Pantoliano, also probably 30.
Yeah. He's always kind of looked 40.
Yes, that's very true. But also, I mean,
he was like 27 when this came out.
Oh, well,
that's close, but still, like
4 years younger than Reiner, I guess.
Wait, Marshall's older?
Yeah, Penny Marshall was 4 years older than him.
I didn't know that.
And that's also one of the things that makes this movie so special is you have the dynamic of the two of them, because were they married or just together?
They got married.
Okay.
Maybe not at this time, but they were at least at one point.
They were at the very least, they were together while making this movie. Reiner and Marshall, they were romantically linked.
And like the whole movie was their relationship.
Yeah, and so it adds that extra level of realism to their relationship, that these are two people in love. It's not just two actors being very good at selling that they're in love. They're just for real in love on the set of it.
They got married in 1971 and divorced in 81.
There you go. So this was in the back half of it, but they were still together. It counts. But the other thing I took note of in that scene is that there's just a framed portrait of President Eisenhower on the dresser in the room.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, there's like multiple shots where it's like in the foreground, like taking up a third of the screen, while they're standing next to the dresser. There's just a framed, not even photograph, like a portrait of Eisenhower for no reason.
Okay, but now we need to re-edit this movie where it's like that one picture of him like cross-legged looking gay.
Yep. So release the gay cut.
Release the gay cut.
Release the Geisenhower cut.
The Geisenhower.
Yep. That's hashtag release the Geisenhower cut. Hashtag the notes or the quotes.
Shut up. Oh my God. Anyway, second scene, they're in college.
Yes. And also we should mention like the sort of framing device around all of this is that Reiner's character is writing a book about their relationship. It's sort of been a runner through the whole thing, is that he's trying to write a novel and it's not really working, while she's trying to be an actress and it's not really working. And the framing device is that you have him narrating in between these vignettes the sort of the prose of the book he's writing about their relationship, and that also comes back again at the end in a very charming kind of way. But that's sort of that's the connective tissue between these time jumps over the course of the 30 years that this takes place over, 20 years. And yeah, now they're in college. She's trying out for the play, which there was a really good line there where she's asking him to take notes during class because she has to go audition. I either play a young girl, an old woman, or a fish. All I know is I got one line. And he goes, then you're probably the fish. She goes, yeah. And he goes, well, they very rarely give big speaking parts to fish.
I wrote that one down too. That got me a good laugh.
It's one of my favorite, honestly, one of my favorite lines over the entire movie. They very rarely give big speaking parts to fish.
Uh, I think my overall favorite line is said by someone other than the main duo, but besides
I think it's maybe the same one as mine.
yes, it definitely is then. Um,
Yes.
but God, actually, it's hard to even say what my favorite line is because there's so many great ones. Like, of course, I've written down so many,
Yeah.
but that is a really, really good. And the thing is, like, I it sucks to bring up When Harry Met Sally because it's like
I
that
was
is
about to make the exact same thing. Is that's extremely and what's his character? His character is Harry. I should know that. Jesus Christ! I almost asked you what Billy Crystal's character's name was in When Harry Met Sally.
anyway. It's like it's not only is the structure very similar, how it's like these vignettes as they meet again and again over time, but it's like of course like When Harry Met Sally was written by Nora Ephron, but Rob Reiner had a lot of part in it, especially considering that like Harry is based on Rob Reiner and Sally was based on Nora Ephron. Meanwhile, uh, in this one, Rob Reiner's character is based on him. Penny Marshall's character is based on her. So it's like you get a lot of these similar joke types. And like one of the ones we'll get to this scene later, but it's just like Penny Marshall's character is describing her new sitcom that or the new pilot she's working on, Doctor Lawyer Indian Chief. Even it's like, oh, I play a waitress at this diner where the doctor and lawyer meet to discuss how they're going to solve the cases. And it's like, what about the Indian chief? He usually skips breakfast. Like that's such a When Harry Met Sally type of line.
It's extremely like that's the thing is this also made me if you love When Harry Met Sally, which of course you do, it's When Harry Met Sally. If that's not enough to make you if what we said earlier wasn't enough to make you go watch the movie, this should be. It's not necessarily going to scratch the same itch that When Harry Met Sally does because that one uh that's more of a classic for a reason. Obviously, I'm not saying this movie is as great as When Harry Met Sally, but it is in the same vein, and it will win you over in the same kind of way that that movie does. And that joke about the big speaking parts to fish, you can hear that coming out of Billy Crystal. You can hear that being the kind of thing that he would say that's like, you know, delivered by a less confident guy is just kind of an asshole move, but like it's said so sincerely while also very clearly being a joke that like you can't help but fall in love with him. You can't help but like oh that was good, Alan. Good line, Alan Corcus. Very
Yeah.
funny for you in universe. That's a good joke for you, the character, to be making, not just you, the writer
And
of the movie, Rob Reiner.
and honestly, the thing is, it's the movie plays this like weird balancing act where it's just like all the lines that are funny are written to be funny, but at the same time, like all the characters deliver them like as it's just like a thought that just appeared in their head
Well,
that they couldn't help but stop. Because like of course this is an autistic for autistic romance, but
but
they didn't
also
know at the time.
that's just how comedy is written.
Not all
Eliza,
not always.
how many comedy movies do you know where a character will say a line that's clearly a joke and then the other characters around them will laugh and be like, that was a good joke,
But
character?
that's not what I mean. You know this.
That was what I thought you were saying. That
No.
was how that came across. I
It
maybe just
what I mean, it's just like it I guess what I'm saying is it feels more natural, like it's something that a
yes.
person would say. Hey, and I don't know. I just see myself in this movie a lot. I
Oh no, you and me both. I absolutely watched this and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is in
uh
this. Uh
you need to show Cass this movie. Cass would
I
really
really
love this.
he really will. I'll make him watch it very soon. Um uh I'm looking at my notes. There's the thing is my notes, because they're just the quotes of the notes. Um
Shut up.
it's even more disjointed because this is such an episodic thing, and because I was so enthralled by the movie that there were long stretches where I wasn't taking notes because I was just watching the movie.
Okay.
So I don't remember, like there's
So
the whole thing where she goes to do the audition and she doesn't really get what the director is saying. when he says to cross the stage and deliver the line, there's no vacancies or whatever.
Mhm.
And she does other things. She doesn't get what he means by cross, meaning walk across. Uh, but then she starts dating the director, or she wants to, but he won't have anything to do with her because she's a virgin and he wants someone who's more experienced.
And then Alan sweeps in and
And
they
it
go rent
works.
a hotel.
It works. He offers up half joking, like, hey, I can be your first. And she's like, sure, let's go do it. And he almost fumbles just with how excited he is and how jittery he is in the hotel lobby to rent this room and go into the hotel room. And that whole scene of the two of them in the sort of like pre like the lead up to the lead up is very fun, where he's like, oh well, which side of the bed do you want to be on? And she like gets all neurotic about like, is that gonna matter? Like, well, I don't know, I've never done this before. Do you want this side? Do you want just like, how is that going to impact the sex we're about to have, what side of the bed we're on?
Mhm.
And I mean, we haven't really mentioned, we've been talking a lot about Reiner because he's who we're here to talk about this month. Penny Marshall is so fucking good in this movie and so deadpan and so like wide-eyed, but a wide-eyed wise ass, but like not just a joke. She's not playing Laverne or Shirley. I don't remember which one she was. Like she's not going into that mode, but her whole sort of like naivete, but still sort of hardened street tough kind of gal. It's a really fun characterization, and she's just so fun.
So I'm gonna bring back like what you said earlier, where it's just like you said that neither of these performances were like the best performances of the 70s or anything. I think Penny Marshall in this is one of the best comedic performances of the 70s. She is so fucking dynamite in this movie. In every single scene, she is hilarious. I can't like take my eyes off her. She is so good at every point. Like both for like the physical comedy that is such a big part of her character. It's like it's in the plot how she's like such a klutz and like accidentally funny. And it's like, and that's what gets her success in nearly everything.
I just remembered the payoff to that, which is also a wild punchline.
And then it's like, but then it's just like with the delivery of everything, and she's also like she's the one with like most of like the plot of the movie, where it's
Yeah.
like the whole thing is that like Rob Reiner kind of wants this more like standard like regular life, whereas like she one doesn't know what she wants, and two knows that she doesn't want to be like stuck in a rut, is like kind of scared of commitment, and it's just like is the one that keeps like flying away, then coming back, to flying away and coming back. And it's just like, and she handles like every emotional beat so well. Like there's this like really kind of heartbreaking scene in the middle of the movie where it's like it honestly it's mainly focused on Rob Reiner being funny, but it's just like just looking at her reacting to everything, and it's just like it she's so good at every part of this movie. And it's like God, I like genuinely this might be my favorite performance we've covered on this show. Like I'm
High praise. Very high praise.
and like I said, probably one of the best comedic performances of the 70s, up there with like Barbara Streisand and What's Up Doc. Like it's that good, I think.
I mean, I can't disagree with any of that. That's she's really so good. She's really great in this. This is a really good movie.
So
I
good.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Um to continue on semi chronologically as we're going through it, I do really love at the end of the there's not a sex scene, but the scene where the characters have sex. He comes bursting out of the hotel room singing Oklahoma, uh and like gets in the car and starts to drive off without her, and then backs up and gets her in the car, all while he's still singing Oklahoma. just belting it out at the top of his lungs. And then as he's dropping her off, he's like, I didn't want to say it earlier, but this was also my first time. And it's like, yeah, no shit, buddy.
Uh, before we leave this scene, my favorite line from it was Rob Reiner says, "I'm sorry to see Castro went communist, weren't you?" And she says, "I didn't even know he was Russian."
Yeah. And then she's like, back when we were in high school, I thought he was intellectual. uh the Castro went communist. That's good. It's a good joke. Um and then we have another time jump ahead. No, there's something else in between. There's a scene with her mom, I think, that happens in here.
Yes.
The first scene with her mom.
Wait, the first
Um,
no, that's before college. We
oh,
skipped over
sure.
that
Oh, yes, yeah, in the apartment. About how
because
she wants to be
she
an
doesn't want to go to
actress.
college. She wants to go into show business. Her
And her
mom
mom.
is a real pain, but also
Oh,
hilarious. Like Kay
yes,
Medford's great.
yeah. But just like you know, you're never gonna make it. And I do think it's a good joke. It's never explicitly said, but her whole sort of reasoning behind why you're never gonna make it in show business is because you're Jewish. And like, you know, that's not
I'm
necessarily.
just letting this hang in the air.
No, just like she's like, oh, it's your accent and your hair is like, you're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it in Hollywood. And I just think that's a funny gag that never gets explicitly like said in those terms, but like, you know,
What's the word she keeps using? Like how she's like sad about her hair. Like she doesn't have
it's
a
not
billow.
billowy.
It doesn't billow. Yes.
It, why? Yeah, why are you dancing around in toilet bowls and not running down the beach with your hair billowing? It's because your hair doesn't billow, and that's why you're never gonna be a great actress in Hollywood. Uh,
That like the way that develops, it's like that just breaks my heart.
I
And like
know
how she like has a wig with her like in so many of the scenes. It's
the
just
scene
like
with Daphne Coleman. Yeah,
oh oh God. But actually, thank God you brought that scene up. I'm not sure when chronologically that takes
it
place,
happens
but
a bit later. That comes after Dr. Lawyer Indian Chief.
yes.
Uh,
That is
but
the next note I have after the sex scene, though.
I do have a few in between there
You
where
go ahead then.
you have a time jump after the sex scene, not maybe not immediately after, but at some point after, where she has some TV stint. I think it's a commercial, and he sees her on the
Yes.
TV in a shop window, and the narration is like, uh, there was a part of me that wanted to say something stupid like, "Hey, that girl on the TV, I know her. We used to be friends." And then a few beats later, he does say exactly that out loud. And then he's like, I'm just glad I didn't also say we lost our virginities together. And then a few scenes later, he's become a high school teacher and she shows up at the school. I don't even remember why.
Just to
Uh,
see him.
I guess just to see him, yeah. And then he's so excited and he just announces to the teachers lounge, like all the rest of the staff, we're old friends, we lost our virginities together.
It's so good. Also, in the high school scene, I don't know who the fucking kid is that like comes in to tell him it's
Yeah,
just like there's a girl, but I love how they sent out a casting like thing that said dumb jock and they
yeah,
picked the perfect fucking guy. I,
yeah, that kid was stellar.
I wish I knew like what the character's name was so I
Would
could
that
look it up.
be Paul McHale as Dominic? No, that guy would have been 40 something. No, 60 something when this movie came out. So probably not that guy.
Wait, I just
Um,
realized like I I just hovered my cursor over one of the names, and you said Paul McHale, and apparently Carl Gottlieb plays Paul J. McHale, and then Paul McHale plays Dominic.
according to IMDb, Carl Gottlieb plays director. I think that's maybe an issue on TMDB if you're looking on
I don't know.
Letterboxd. Because Carl Gottlieb is credited as director here. Paul McHale is credited as Dominic, parentheses, as Paul J. McHale. Like that's what he was credited as.
Oh, true.
So I think
That's
it
weird.
must just be a transcription issue. Yeah. This is not our first, but this is the rare and surprisingly a movie that we've done that doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Oh wow, I didn't even look.
Yeah, the only other one that I can think of, Mrs. Eris Goes to Paris, also didn't have a Wikipedia page, and there may have been one more, but I don't remember what that would have been. Even Dracula 3000 had a Wikipedia page, I think,
Mhm.
and that was one that it was hard to find any information about. Um,
Yeah, like this. Yeah, it really sucks that this movie is so underseen and it's like so.
it might have been Next Stop Christmas, actually. I think that doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that sounds right. Uh,
Yes, that does not. Because
but
if we made Wikipedia pages for every Hallmark holiday movie, Wikipedia would uh, be bigger.
useless.
I did not have there was no reason not to, but I made it sound like there was an active reason to not do that. But there's a lot of that. But yeah, they get breakfast together. She tells him about Dr. Lawyer Indian Chief, and she says, "I don't play any of those parts." And he sort of like reacts like, "Oh." I didn't even write down all the dialogue from that scene because it's just so snappy and like it's one of those scenes where every line is a joke, and so to write down the good jokes in the scene would just be to transcribe the entire scene because
Yeah.
it's just every joke lands.
Which, like, just the title of the sitcom, Doctor Lawyer Indian Chief. First of all, I thought the premise of the sitcom was like that was one person.
A doctor who is a lawyer who is an Indian chief? No.
Yeah,
Yes. It's so funny that like that's the best that's the best they could come up with to name the show is just a list of the characters.
I
The
mean, later we get Three Girls in the Sky.
Yeah, but that's at the very least like, that follows title conventions. That show isn't called Stewardess, Stewardess, Stewardess.
Honestly, I wish it was. It'd be like Bandit, Bandit, Bandit.
Bandit, Bandit, Bandit. Dr. Lawyer Indian Chief. The notes are the quotes. Hashtag baby. The notes are
Shut
the quotes.
up! Shut up, Gordon. Just
No.
shut up.
But my next note is Dabney Coleman, which is a scene that you could ostensibly cut out because it is one of the more whimsical flights of fancy that the movie goes on. Not in terms of like, it's not fantastical by any means, but it's just like it doesn't
It's an
amount
aside,
to anything. It's very much an aside. It's a sketch, effectively in the middle of this movie,
but
where
it's so good.
it's so funny. It has some of the best jokes in the movie, visually and scripturally, where we cut to Penny Marshall in bed with Dabney Coleman on top of her, and then the door to the room opens, and this other woman comes in, introduces herself as Frances Harrington. Dabney Coleman is Josh Harrington, which Dabney Coleman as a Josh, I do not see. That's weird. That's weird to think that that's the case here.
Well, it is Josh short for Joshua Harrington, of course.
Josh, yes. Josh, short for Joshua Josh Harrington, as he's credited. Oh boy. But like so she comes in and Maddie is like, "Oh, you must be his ex-wife." And she's like, "No, I'm his present wife." And they get into a whole argument about like, you do this every time. This has been happening for years and years. Every time I go on a trip, you hook up with some young harlot out of Hollywood who thinks she's going to get a job from you. And like he told her that he was 43 and something about being 45. Really, he's like 55 and all this stuff. And all the while this argument is going on, Marshall and Coleman are like climbing over each other to get out of the bed and just sort of like wrapping themselves in the bed sheets because they're naked because they were like actively having sex when this happened. And so they're just like, it's like they're doing an interpretive dance to get out of the bed and not be naked. And like such a good visual detail is the like tan lines on Dabney Coleman and how he's like so bronzed on his face and forearms and then so pale on his chest, and it's like, oh yeah, that's absolutely like Hollywood producer like bullshit type of guy. Playing a real Dabney Coleman type. Very rarely was that man cast as a kind man with good intentions in things. By all accounts, as far as I know, a good person in real life, but just really good at playing a sort of hapless scumbag.
He was the
and
guy from 9 to 5, right?
yes, he's the selfish, egotistical, something, whatever the whole thing they go on about. Calling
The
him
boss.
Yes, but there's like the
I know,
recurring
I know.
bit. Yes,
We don't need to go through it.
he's also that in Tootsie. He's the one that's like, no, it's no, yeah, he's the one that's like constantly harassing the girls and is like in love with
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yes,
I don't like Tootsie. I shouldn't
I
be saying things.
I remember as much. He only died in 2024. Wow.
Yeah.
He won an Emmy for something, I guess.
Okay.
I would imagine for something, not for
let's
nothing.
keep back to the scene.
He won an Emmy for Sworn to Silence. Many-time Emmy nominee, including for an episode of Columbo. Good
What
for
are
you.
Why are we on this?
I'm just on his IMDb. I was just looking at Dabney Coleman. I was looking at other movies he was in. But anyway, yes, a very good scene. And is this where you're also your favorite, the best line in the movie?
Come into the kitchen, slut. I'll make you some coffee.
Yep. Best line of the movie. In a way where like she delivers the line, and I was like, it was like you and I psychically linked across the country. I just felt like, oh, well, this is an important line in this movie. I felt a real connection with you. I knew that you were also taking note of that line as you were watching it.
Yeah, like whenever I watch a movie for this, I always have like I have a Dennehy's page open as well, so I can jot down like the nominees I'd have, and like I had like a few potential quotes, and I just erased all of them and put "Come into the kitchen, slut. I'll make you some coffee." And
It's a real early front runner for the category.
Yeah. There's a lot of early front runners for different categories in here.
Oh yes.
We'll get to the original song one when we get there, but
another great gag in this movie. Another really fun. But after that is when they decide to move in together, right?
yes, because that's when she comes back and it's like we should move in together, and he's like, tell me one reason like why we shouldn't. And he can't, so
they move in together in this like huge apartment. Like there's like one shot you get when they're moving into like the empty apartment. I was like, wow, that place is huge. In wherever in New York it is. That's a nice place. And then
it's a Bronx brownstone.
Yes, it is. It is very, very good. It's a nice space. Could have used a bit more of it, honestly, as a setting in the back half of the movie. One of my few complaints of the movie is could have used more of that, and there's something else we could have used more of that we haven't talked about at all in this movie that I would have liked more of. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, wait, we almost skipped over a line. So like that flashback to Dabney Coleman happens while they're at dinner, while they're still talking about Dr. Lawyer Indian Chief. And then right after that is when they move over to like them talking about moving together. And the narrator, Rob Reiner, says, so much for Maddie's sleazy past. I was much more interested in her sleazy future with me.
Yeah. It's a good line. There's some good lines in that narration. And then you have the other scene with her mom where they're in the back of the taxi, and I mean she was a real menace in the first scene, but this is where she's really awful. And she's talking like, Maddie says like, oh, we're going to take her to the Bronx. And she goes, I think you meant to say we're going to take my mother to the Bronx, to the taxi driver. Like, getting so offended that she would be called her, not, just that really, gave me chills. And then she's just belittling her and her career. And she's like, oh, I got this new, she's like, oh, you're never gonna make it. She's still doing the whole you're never gonna make it in show business. And she's like, oh, I got this dandruff commercial. And she goes, were you the one who told them about it, or did you have the dandruff? And Maddie just sort of sheepishly goes, I have the dandruff. And she goes, figures. And just, oh, fuck you, Gertie. Which that's the other thing from very early on. She's like, oh, you're a grown woman now. Don't call me Ma, call me Gertie. And she's like, thanks, Ma. And she's not gonna, and she's like really pushing, like, call me, call me by my first name. We're friends now. And then uh, does not act like a friend to her daughter at any point. But she brings up the hair again, and she's just like, and this is what kicks off that scene that you mentioned, where she gets back into the apartment and she just just like she walks into the apartment and just screams, and it just like really catches you off guard. Just is really, it's a lot carried in that scream.
I'm laughing right now, but it's just because of how your scream got picked up on the audio.
Yeah, I imagine not great.
Anyway, keep going.
Oh no, I was.
Oh, you were done.
I was leaving the space for you to talk about that scene.
But sorry, it's like I went into this laughing when it's actually a serious scene. But yeah, it's just like, and also we get this montage. We get a few scenes of them living together. Like we get the moving in, and then we get like her at the softball game. And one thing I sent to you, so last year we at the Denny's, or last week I should say, we had best inanimate object, which we're carrying on, and I messaged Gordon, can we do worst inanimate object because for the frisbee that kept hitting Maddie at the softball game? Because it's like 5 or 6 different times she gets hit by a frisbee, and it's like it kept making me mad because I love Maddie so much.
At the very least, it's during a montage. It's not that egregious that it's just like happening repeatedly over the course of a scene that it's like a gag that gets tired. What's the song over the montage?
No, I didn't mean it as like, oh, this is a bad joke. I just meant, I hate this frisbee because it's being mean to Maddie.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. In that case, yes, cosign.
But yeah, and then it's like they have a breakfast scene where they're eating bagels, and like Rob Reiner gets all the wrong things for her bagel, or just like doesn't know how she likes things. And it's like it's clearly showing them like, oh, maybe they aren't really a good fit for each other. Like they shouldn't be living together. And it all culminates after the scene with the mom. And like
he does this whole routine where he like gets up and starts doing a song that turns into like a war reenactment.
it's like she was complaining how she like has no excitement in her life, and she wants something. And like when he like listed like the weekend plan to her, and it's like she doesn't want to do any of that. And so it's just like, oh, you want excitement? Then it's like he starts singing, and then he, like you said, does the war reenactment, and then just like all these different things around and around, and it just pisses her off more. And it's just it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But in a way where it's still funny. It's not like the movie puts jokes on hold so that it can have a big dramatic breakup scene for them where they have their third act sort of falling apart before they can come back together. It's still a funny scene. He's
Like,
still
Yeah,
he's going very
it's a mixture,
yes. Yeah, it handles the balance of that well.
Yeah, and yeah.
And then
what another thing I wrote down, it's like, so like Maddie packs up, she doesn't leave, but she packs up her things and walks out of the room, and there's this Snoopy doll that she leaves in there, and I just said Maddie abandoned Snoopy in the vestibule.
it was her all along.
Yeah.
Um
That's a Maestro 2023 reference for those of you who don't get it.
Eliza, everyone gets it. Everyone remembers Maestro 2023.
Everyone knows and loves Maestro, and loves Bradley Cooper's performance, and everybody is going out to the theater right now to go see Is This Thing On, starring Will Arnett and Bradley Cooper as
Balls. Oh boy. This is where I start to get especially iffy on when things happen. Because when is he going to propose? Is that next?
No. I think there's another time when she goes to LA, then comes back, then goes to LA.
Yes, because what? Yes, because
Because the first time, like
next
this
is
is when we
Michael
get the lily
McKean.
pad commercial.
No, that was wait. No, that's earlier because she's talking about dancing in a toilet uh with her mom or with somebody. When is No, this is when she goes to Michael McKean is
Really?
next.
I
Yeah.
thought I thought for sure that would be later.
No, okay.
Oh wait, no, yeah, you're right because I wrote down I think we know each other from a previous life. That's even before kindergarten.
Yes. Okay, Michael McKean as this like hippie uh 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 polygamist like musician, but also like, you know, what would you call it? Like he's not really all that politically active. He's just more or less co-opting the aesthetics of the movement
Oh
because
yeah.
his whole song, which I am just choosing to believe is titled "There Over There."
Oh yeah, that is the title of the song. They're over there.
That would make sense because that's in the chorus. This, you know, nonsense, borderline nonsense hippie song about like, oh, so much is going on in this world, but that's all happening over there. And as long as you don't come over here and bother me, whatever, man.
Yeah.
And it's and it's really fake deep. And McKean is so fun.
Mhm.
I mean, I love
He's
Michael
so
McKean in
good.
general, so I'm maybe more obligated or more inclined to liking him because he's a face I recognize. But man, like two scenes, and he's great. He's a beautiful singing voice, and really funny as this hippie douche.
Yeah, he's like this is low key kind of a precursor to like Spinal Tap and stuff. It's just like
Oh,
it's
but yeah, very much. This is a proto. Uh, uh, which one is he?
I don't even like I
David St. Hubbins.
my mind just went to Dirk McQuickly, but that's a different
No,
a fake band.
no, he's David St. Hubbins because Christopher Guest is Nigel Tufnell, and um, and then Harry Shearer is Derek Smalls, I think is his name, is the bassist,
I
and
don't
then
know.
you know,
I've only seen This is Spinal Tap twice. The second time was just a few weeks ago when Rob Reiner died.
good movie. This is Spinal Tap.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Anyway,
he is kind of, it's a very different kind of aloof musician, but he is a little bit tapped into what would be David St. Hubbins uh, just a few years later. Um, and one of the best jokes in this sequence. Well, there's a few great jokes. I like when the other girls come in that we talked about earlier, Wind and Sky, and they're fawning over Maddie how all of her hair is attached to her scalp, and how cool that is before their would be orgy that they're about to have that she walks out on because she's too neurotic. Um, but I really like the bit where she's dressing him down and she mentions the parrot that he got hooked on dope and trained to say Polly wanna fix, which was a close contender for best joke of the movie. That I was like, uh, uh, I was getting something to eat while I was watching that scene, and that I had to like stop what I was doing because I was laughing so hard at Polly wanna fix.
I'm I'm glad you have joy in your life, Gordon.
Thank you.
What was that reaction?
I don't know what was that comment.
I don't know either.
It sounded, I assume, more passive aggressive than you
It
meant.
wasn't passive
I
aggressive.
know, but
It
it really sounded. I'm glad you have joy in your life
it
for
was
laughing at a joke in this funny movie. Okay, jeez.
I just didn't know what to say.
Yeah. Oh, we skipped over. There's a bit when she is left, but before we go see what she's doing, where Reiner and Joey Pants are at this like monastery themed bar where
Yes.
everyone's dressed as friars.
Yeah,
Which I
it
is
was
it
a
supposed to
joke
be? Is it
about
a is it a friars club joke? Is that what we're doing?
well, it was a setup for a joke where it's just like, oh, it's like I had to make a real change in my life, and it's like it meant to be like, oh, he joined the monastery, but no, that's just a bar he's at.
Yes.
So it's like he
Um.
hasn't really changed much at all.
Uh. Yeah. There's a whole bit. Okay, this is where I can bring up. I wanted more of Ralph. I wanted more of Joey Pants because he like is gone for most of the middle of the movie, and then in the back half he just pops up in a few consecutive scenes, and you're just sort of supposed to believe that he's been uh uh what's his name, Alan's like best friend all this time,
Yeah,
and we just haven't seen him for so long that when he pops back up it's like, oh yeah, Joe Pantoliano's in this movie.
yeah.
Where have you been?
It's like the one like major gripe is just like nobody else gets any kind of development, and that's most evident with him. It's
I
just like because he's like you said, he's framed like in these conversations like he's like Rob Reiner's best friend, but it's like we know nothing about him. I didn't even know his name until you said it just now.
I only remembered it was Ralph because that's also his character on The Sopranos. And so I was watching this like, what if this is just Ralph Cifaretto, like before The Sopranos?
It's just like there's like he's just such a non-character and is just kind of there to be like just to be there, just so you can have somebody to talk to in the scenes when uh she's away.
Yeah, that's the thing is, again, to make the When Harry Met Sally comparison, this movie, he's the closest the movie gets to having a Bruno Kirby, Carrie Fisher, uh, uh, like alternate pair of friends that they can talk to, which I think it would have, if you had something like that as well, uh, it may have tipped it over even better to have something else for these two to bounce off. But also, that they really only do have each other. That Ralph is kind of a horny bastard that can't keep his hands to himself and doesn't really have any doesn't really have anything in common with Alan, is kind of the point that like Alan and Maddie really do only have each other. And that's kind of the point of it, but also I would like it if they had friends
Yeah.
other than this shitty guy from high school.
Yeah, and like this is gonna be a out there like random thing to bring up, but it's like it reminds me of when I watched The Worst Person in the World, and like three-quarters of the way into the movie, I realized that I don't even remember the main character's name, but Renata Reins's character, she has no friends in that movie. All the people she talks to in that movie are her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friends, but she has nobody
Well, it's
except like
because she's the worst
coworkers.
person in the world.
But it's just like and like that is like an intentional thing in the movie, though I also didn't understand like why it's an intentional thing. And I feel like that's kind of the same way here, where it's like Penny Marshall, she doesn't get friends. She just gets her shitty mom and a bunch of shitty partners. And like and then also Alan. And it's just like and here that's more of the point because it's like yeah, it's meant to show like how they're all that each other have. It's just like or they are the best people in each other's lives. Right, so it's like
Yeah,
there's a reason they keep finding each other back together. It's because everybody else kind of sucks.
yeah. But you give me a movie and you put Joe Pantoliano in it, I want more Joe Pantoliano.
Oh,
That's just
exactly.
always going to be the case.
Like I need my Joey Pants fix.
I do. We need more
Polly
Joey
wanna
Pants.
pants.
Polly want pants. The notes is the pants.
Shut up. Shut
The
up. Stop
the
saying that. Stop saying shit like that, Gordon.
the Ralph is the pants.
It's not good.
Hashtag the Ralph is the pants. Hashtag pants.
You're not funny, Gordon. Stop it.
That's not a nice thing to say on our comedy podcast.
I love you, Gordon, so I can tell you that you're not funny and never will be. You're just plain and ordinary and just regular amount of funny, if not below regular.
And my hair doesn't even billow.
Your hair doesn't fucking billow.
It doesn't actually. It's very short now.
My hair billows because it's longer and curly.
Yes, mine does not. And even when my hair is long, it doesn't billow.
I don't even really know what billow means, but I'm assuming my hair does.
I will also assume as much.
Thank you.
Anyway, after this, she's come back and she's regaled the whole story of Michael McKean and everything going on over there. Does he have a fun character name? No, he's just a regular guy name.
And yeah, this is when he wants to propose.
Yes, he has decided he's going to propose to her because she's back and things are going well. You have a whole montage of them playing various games with balls,
Yeah,
which
weird
is
way to phrase
very
it.
sweet. Well, no, they're playing various like
It's
stoop ball.
them like being childlike together. And it's
Yeah.
just like they're playing around on the schoolyard. They're playing stoop ball.
They're
And
playing hopscotch. They're throwing balls at pennies and bouncing them off walls and catching them and throwing them at dogs.
and then
And
he talks to Joey Pants. It's like, hey, I think I'm gonna propose to this girl, and he runs into a pole and he says, must put this pole up in recent months.
recent months is such a perfect way of phrasing that. That like it's a fine enough joke, but the recent months is what elevates that to being like really funny in a strangely observational kind of way.
And Joey Pants says like something like, are you sure this is gonna go well? And he says, there's no poles in my apartment.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good bit. But yeah, he's all he's got a suit on and he's pouring the champagne, and then she shows up. She got a job on a show, Three Girls in the Sky, and she has to be on a plane in an hour to go back to California. She has a note of things to do: pack up this, pack up this, pack up this, kiss Alan goodbye. And then she does that and leaves in there with the two glasses of champagne in his hand. And the shot of him just like looking forlornly at the door as she's left is a very striking shot in this movie that you just sort of fade out on to the next time skip to he's watching an interview of her on TV, playing a clip from Three Girls in the Sky where she has some sort of like whipped cream aerosol can thing.
Oh, I thought it was like champagne like bubbles that like she
No.
like squirts across.
No, it's like a spray can thing
Okay.
because it keeps going for like a while. And she's spraying it all over all the other like the passengers on the airplane. And it's going over great. The studio audience is loving it. She's spraying this whipped cream all over everyone. And then she has, the punchline gag of, plane lands in 10 minutes. Yeah. If anyone needs to go clean up, take a number. And then we cut to a TV interview with her and the director of the TV show. And she says none of that was supposed to happen.
I love that fucking bit. It just makes me think of like all those fucking like AI posts or whatever nowadays where it's just like, oh, like this clearly scripted scene wasn't supposed to happen. It just did it on the day. The director liked it. They left it in. It's
Haley
like,
Steinfeld wasn't actually supposed to become a vampire in Sinners, but she bit Michael B. Jordan and he bled a lot. And they were like, you know what? What if he became a vampire?
true.
Crazy.
And then it's like in that interview, they're also saying it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the Cannes Film Festival, and it's like for Three Girls in the Sky.
Yeah, and there's not a punchline to that. There's no joke about like, because they've done that a lot over the course of the movie, where like, one of the hippie girls asks Maddie if she has a mantra, and she goes, "No, I have a Volvo." And just sort of like misunderstanding, misinterpretations like that. There's no a sensible joke to bringing up the Cannes Film Festival. They ask her if she's ever been, and she goes, "No, I've never been to France." There's not a joke there. That's just what's going to happen. It's just, it's a weird detail that there's not any joke associated with it. I don't know. I was waiting for there to be some kind of humor with that. Um, but that's just sort of the final, because she's gonna, that's the other thing is, did we say that she's going to marry this
We
director? They're
didn't say that.
engaged.
But yeah, they are
They're
engaged.
engaged, and Alan is watching this interview on TV, and this is what, he's finally gotten over her. It's finally what pushed him to write this book, because he's moved on, she's moved on. He can finally, have the perspective to look back and write the book. And but then she's dancing with her fiance, and he starts singing "The King and I," and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm in love with Alan,"
Hmm.
kind of like in Hot Frosty. No, shit. Next Stop Christmas. Shit, I said the wrong movie. It did
Hot,
never.
Hot
Fuck.
Frosty is more memorable than Next Stop Christmas.
No,
Print it.
no, no.
This is for you, Jason.
I for a second there, I thought you were gonna end the episode there just to fuck with me.
I would
Even though
not.
we're,
We need to get to this fucking ending.
I know
This
that's the thing.
perfect
Is like,
fucking ending.
I was like, I swear to God, if she ends the episode there just to spite me, even though we haven't gotten to like the whole ending of it, I'll let you go because I just sort of did a whole lot of plot exposition there.
I'm going to explain it so poorly, but it's like so. She calls him, and just like, oh, what'd she say? And she says like, oh, I know what you're gonna say, but could you please come see me? And then he starts saying kind of like half-heartedly, it's like, oh, I don't know, it's not gonna end well. Like I shouldn't see you, but it's just like, okay, just meet me, eat by the train tracks where he used to be or used to play or whatever. And he kind of just says, be there for 45. If I don't show up in 45 minutes, that means I'm not coming. And he hangs up. And of course he comes and they start talking. Oh, and he's finished his book too, and he's bringing it with him. And it's like they just kind of like small talk circle around. And it's like she brings up the book. Okay, it's like, oh yeah. It's like, yo, finally finished your book. And she starts to read it and realize, and she starts reading out the opening narration of this movie, and it's just like, oh, you wrote a book about us. And then they start reminiscing about like the first few scenes of this movie, where it's just like, oh, it's just like you used to, oh, like when you said your when I said my type was Yul Brynner, and you started talking about how you're gonna go bald. And it's just like, God, I shouldn't just describe this entire ending, but
Yeah,
it's just all so good.
it's very sweet. It's a really, and and it's not just sappy sentimentality. There's still humor in it
It's
all.
still so fun. Like, oh,
The
she
bit
says,
where,
like you should come see this graffiti.
yeah,
It's
I
like
came up to read the graffiti. If you come up, there's a really good one, but I think it's a physical impossibility.
exactly.
Which we never see what she's talking about. We never see what the thing says or shows, but that's a good joke. It's a good line. Funny
Hmm.
girl, funny movie.
Funny Girl, starring Kay Medford in her Oscar-nominated role.
There you go. Her web connects us all.
Shh.
Madam Web.
Madam Web in theaters now.
The pants is the web.
What the? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it, Gordon!
No,
Stop!
this is my new bit. This is my bit for the whole year.
I'm going to kill myself.
No.
Anyway, uh,
Anyway,
such a beautiful ending. And
good movie. Very
so
good movie.
and I just want to say, like, when they, of course, you know it's gonna be. They say that they love each other. They say, I don't think they say they're going to get married, but they do kind of walk. But it's like when they say they love each other, it's and she's like, I because I love you, Alan, and you look me in the eye, and if you can say that you don't love me, then I'll walk away forever. And he says, I love you, Maddie, and they hug, and his face when they hug is so just heart-wrenching, and it's just like so like his face just shows every single emotion for that moment. It's so perfect. Ugh.
He's a good actor. He's a very good actor. And I'm glad we picked this one. I'm glad we started with this one.
like
Um,
like this is like genuinely like one of the best movies we've done. Like genuinely, if you are listening to this, you need to watch this movie. Like,
Even though we did say most of the good jokes and all of the story of it.
but that's not what's important. What's important
Yeah.
is experience it for yourself.
Yeah. And we gave you multiple opportunities where we flat out said, hey, pause this, go watch the movie. So if you're here now and you didn't, and you feel cheated out of the experience of watching the movie blind, that's on you, Buckaroo.
That's on you, Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai.
That was the joke, yeah.
Yep. With John Lithgow.
Sure.
Yeah, I
He
think
is in that.
he's the
It
bad guy.
also has fucking what's
Peter
his
Weller,
face?
right?
Yes, and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
hmm
The
And
John of
other
the
actors.
Lithgow.
I love the ending of that movie where they're
I
just
haven't seen it.
like the credits sequence is just really fun. It's the best part of the movie, which is kind of sad if the best part of the movie is your credit sequence.
I believe you. Who directed that? Was that
No clue.
okay? That's not a Terry Gilliam, is it? For some reason, I
No,
always
it's
think
not.
it is, even though it's not. I
Uh,
think I get it mixed up with Baron Munchausen in that regard.
Buckaroo Banzai
Just because they're
is
both
directed
the
by
adventures of somebody.
W.D. Richter,
Sure.
who has directed one other movie called Late for Dinner, starring Peter Berg and Brian Wimmer and Marcia Gay Harden.
W.D.
1991.
Richter doesn't. It sounds more like an L director, if you ask me. If he only directed 2 movies.
You're not very nice, Gordon.
No, that was a good joke. That was a well constructed
Hey, it was
joke.
being very mean to Mr.
But it's
W.D. Richter.
but it's because D Richter sounds like director, and this is the joke of it. You no, but do you get it though?
He also
No, but do you
co-wrote
get it
Big
though?
Trouble in Little China. Oh, he
Yeah.
actually wrote a few movies. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Home for the Holidays.
Oh,
Oh, maybe the W stands for writer. So it's Writer D. Richter.
yeah, he's a writer director.
Exactly. Wait, but he didn't even write any of the movies he directed.
Oh, Oscar nominated for Brubaker. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Rebeker.
He wrote his first 3 movies that he wrote are Slither, Peeper, and Nickelodeon.
What a combination of movie titles.
And then an Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then which Dracula is this? It's the Christopher Lee Dracula. Or sorry, Frank Langella. The Frank Langella Dracula with Olivier and Donald Pleasance. Interesting. What are you laughing at now?
I'm just like Slither Peeper sounds like the start of like
The Slither is the Peeper.
shut up. No. It's just like Butcher Baker Candlestick Maker. So I
Yeah.
was trying to think of a third movie title, just shove in there. And it's like Slither Peeper, My Sister's Keeper.
Slither Peeper, Sister's Keeper. Isn't that new Jim Jarmusch movie that's about to come out? Slither
Could
Peeper,
I
Sister
end it now?
Please do.